Netsboy, so let's hear what he has to say. His name is Netsboy, he thinks the world is all over when the Nets just can't play. What up, Net fans? Netsboy here, bringing you the latest in your Brooklyn Nets news. So, this is my top 5 small forwards based off of last season. We're halfway through this fun little thing of me ranking my top 5 players in each respective positions for the second time in the history of Netsboy. Last week was shooting guards. Week before that was point guards. If you missed those, go back on my page and take a look at them and tell me what you think. But this one here is top 5 small forwards based off of last season. Now, here's the thing. This is a very interesting list because based off of my own rules that I put on about players needing to qualify, as in they need to be playing enough games, which is why Kobe was not in my top 5 shooting guards last week. Same thing is being done with the small forwards. And why I'm saying that is both Kevin Durant and Carmelo Anthony are actually not in my top 5. Now, that being said, there's no doubt in my mind they're top 5 respectively in their positions going into this coming season. No doubt. Obviously, I put them at 2 and 3 of small forwards. Definitely, actually, I would definitely put them at 2 and 3 as small forwards. But based off of my own rules in which these players have to qualify by playing enough games to be considered statistically eligible, by my own rules, both those guys, both Carmelo and Kevin Durant, did not play in enough games last year to qualify statistically, so they're not in this. So this is actually going to be very interesting because I actually had to kind of dig pretty deep into the small forward pool to try to find some players to create a top 5. So let's just dive right in. It's very, very interesting. So let's start off with my honorable mention. Now, the honorable mention could be so many players. If you get rid of Durant and Melo, you're opening up the floodgates for a lot of possible players. I really wanted to give it to Andre Iguodala because of basically his postseason performance, but this is based off of last year's regular season, so I didn't. I gave it to Chandler Parsons. Honestly, it's by default. 15.1 points per game, 2.4 assists, 4.9 rebounds, 16 points, 37 player efficiency rating, 46% from the field, 38% from 3. I mean, you could make a case for so many players. Andrew Wiggins, he's someone you can make a case for. Jeff Green, if you wanted to. I mean, though he didn't shoot the best field goal percentage. Joe Johnson is actually someone as well. Luau Deng. There's a lot of guys on this list for the honorable mentions you could make a case for, but the truth is you're really digging deep into the small forwards to try to pull this off now. So, I mean, Chandler Parsons should not be a top 5 small forward, but he shouldn't be even on this, well, maybe in the conversation slightly, honorable mention, but I mean, by people who qualify, he's my honorable mention. So whatever. Number 5, here's another whatever. Tobias Harris. He's my number 5. Look, same exact thing. I don't know. I don't know who else to give it to. He averaged 17 points per game, 17.1 points per game, 1.8 assists, 6.3 rebounds. Shot 46% from the field. That's pretty solid. That's pretty good. 36% from 3. Player efficiency rating is 16.676. Very similar numbers actually to Chandler Parsons, but just a little bit more points per game and a little bit more rebounds, and that's why I have Tobias Harris as number 5 and Parsons as honorable mention. You really know that this is not going to go well for a countdown if we have Chandler Parsons and Tobias Harris as people that we're talking about as top players in respective positions. Let's be honest. Now, look, I'm not trying to say anything bad about either of those players, but let's be honest. they're not players that you would ever say they're the top 5. But statistically, based off of last season, because of they obviously played, they're somehow there. So, whatever. So, Tobias Harris, number 5. Number 4. Now we're going to start getting into a little bit more respectable players. Gordon Hayward. Gordon Hayward had a fantastic year last year. 19.3 points per game, 4.1 assists, 4.9 rebounds. Player efficiency rating of 20.24. Shot 44% from the field, from the floor, 36% from 3-point. Those are very good numbers. And now we're getting to a little bit more of a respective player. I mean, Gordon Hayward's numbers might be a little skewed because he plays for a very poor team in the Jazz. So the Jazz, they kind of got good, a little hot towards the end of last season and kind of made things good. I think they might actually be a pretty decent team this year coming up. But, I mean, he's the best player on the Jazz, and he's on the rise of statistically the 4th best small forward. And you can't argue with him. He's a very good, young, small forward, a lot of upside. He can score the basketball. He can create his own shot, and he's a decent two-way player. So that's why I got him at number 4. And, yeah, so we'll move on from there. So Gordon Hayward at number 4. Now, my number 3 small forward, Kawhi Leonard. Now, Kawhi Leonard, 16.5 points, 2.5 assists, 7.2 rebounds, player efficiency rating of 22, shot 47% from the floor. But here is why I put Leonard at number 3 above Hayward. Because you can be like, Netsboy, Hayward averaged more points per game. First of all, it's not about points per game, all right? But Leonard, 7.2 rebounds, that's fantastic. But here's where things get crazy. 2.3 steals per game was Kawhi Leonard. Are you serious? 2.3 steals per game. That is fantastic. No other small forward had any type of steal numbers even close to that. 2.3 steals per game. We know how good of a defensive player Kawhi Leonard is, and we know how much tough. And let's be honest, if there was players not named Duncan, Ginobili, or Parker on the Spurs, Leonard's numbers would even be higher. And you know what? His numbers might even take a hit again this coming season now that they got LaMarcus Aldridge. But, I mean, maybe not, though, because I think Parker's starting to take his steps back, and same thing with Ginobili. And I think really it's going to become the Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge show in San Antonio. But you can't argue that. 16, 7, and 2.3 steals per game. I mean, he's got less points than Tobias Harris as well, but it's not just about points. And I think a lot of you guys would agree Kawhi Leonard is the 3rd best small forward, or at least is definitely better than Tobias Harris and Gordon Hayward and Chandler Parsons. I mean, there's no doubt about it. So he's a fantastic two-way player. He's only going to get better. He makes big shots. He's a winner. I mean, you can't say anything more. I mean, Kawhi Leonard, number 3. Number 2, Rudy Gay. Rudy Gay, the fact that he's number 2 shows you how weird it is without having Melo and Durant. Gay would probably be somebody I would have normally at number 4. If I were to have Melo and Durant on this list, it would probably go more like Kawhi Leonard, Rudy Gay, Melo, Durant, and put them. I wonder who is going to be. But because those guys are out, everyone just slides up. And that's why I got Rudy Gay, number 2. 21.1 points per game, 3.7 assists, 5.9 rebounds, player efficiency rating 19.72, shot 45% from the field, 1 steal a game. Just really solid numbers. And you know me, I am a huge Rudy Gay fan. From about day 1 of the season last year, I was advocating the Nets to try to trade for Rudy Gay, and I still think they should somehow do it, though they definitely won't, at least not right now, but maybe it's still something I still think they could do. I know the Kings have this win-now mentality that's just not going to work out. Maybe halfway through the season they realize, shoot, this isn't going to work out, and they want to get out of Rudy Gay's contract so we can trade Joe Johnson and maybe a young player for Rudy Gay and have a Rudy Gay, Thaddeus Young, Brook Lopez front court. Anyway, I talk about it all the time. But so I'm a huge Rudy Gay fan, And, he's definitely the second best. When you look at statistically 21, 3, and 6, basically, 45%, he's the go to guy at Sacramento. I mean, him and Cousins are a good 1-2 punch there in Sacramento offensively. But, he's also a good two-way player, Rudy Gay. So, there's no knock on him. So, he's my number 2 small forward, which brings me to number 1. Bet you can't guess who number 1 is. It's Joe Johnson. No. It's LeBron James. 25.3 points per game, 7.4 assists, 6 rebounds, player efficiency rating of 26, 48% field goal percentage. He's the best. He's the best player in basketball. He's the best small forward, bar none. You can't argue with it. You can try to. But I will say this. There's 2 stats that LeBron James has that makes me shake my head. And similar about the way that I was kind of mad about Russell Westbrook and James Harden, LeBron James averaged 3.9 turnovers a game, almost 4 turnovers a game. You just can't have that. Now, I understand he has the ball in his hand a lot, but almost 4 turnovers a game is not good. It's not good. But everything else that he does makes up for the 4 turnovers, because he can score with the best of them. He can pass real well. He's walking triple-double. He's just great. He is. He's the best player in basketball right now. And he's the best small forward. You can't even argue it. But I don't like the almost 4 turnovers a game, 3.9 turnovers, and I really don't like 71% from the free throw line. That is just... You're a star player who's going to get fouled a lot, and you're only shooting 71% from the free throw line. That's pretty bad. And now, look, Shaquille O'Neal was a notoriously bad free throw shooter. He was a go-to guy. Yeah, but he's a center. LeBron James is a small forward and arguably one of the best players to ever play the game. You got to shoot better than 71%, and I don't know why he can't make free throws. There's no logic to it. He just can't, and he's never been that good. I think he's a career 73% free throw shooter or something like that. Let me just check that real fast. Let me just have some fun here. Oh, no. He's a career 80% free throw shooter. Well, that doesn't make sense to me. So he's a career 80% free throw. What? Wait, hold on. I'm not sure what I'm seeing on my stats or why I wrote it down. I think I owe LeBron James a little bit. Oh, wait. That's because it's Kawhi Leonard. You're stupid, Netsboy. You're so stupid. Yeah, 71% free throw percentage. I was looking at Kawhi Leonard's stats. I'm like, 80%? What? 71% this season. He is a career 74% free throw shooter. You just can't have that, but he's still the best player in the NBA. So there you have it. My top 5 small forwards. Honorable mention, Chandler Parsons. Then Tobias Harris, number 5. Number 4 is Gordon Hayward. Number 3, Kawhi Leonard. Number 2, Rudy Gay. And number 1, LeBron James. Once again, Durant and Melo not on the countdown because they did not play enough games to qualify. Though really, I would say it should really be more like Leonard, Gay, Melo, Durant, James. But have to go with my own rules that I set up. So there you have it. There's your small forwards. Let me know what you think. Give me your own list. No one's been doing that yet. No one's done that on the shooting guards or the point guards. And I'm wondering where all you subscribers and viewers are. Why aren't you commenting? This is the fun part. When you get to judge players and say who you think is the best player in respective positions. I think it has a little bit to do with the fact that it's still the off season. We're still about a month away from the regular season. A little bit more than a month away from the regular season. So everyone's kind of like whatever. But hey, let me know what you think. Tell me if you agree. Do you think someone else should be there? Andrew Wiggins, Paul Pierce. I don't know. Just throwing names out there. Luau Deng, maybe. I don't know. Let me know what you think, and keep your eyes out for next week's Netsboy, which will be my top 5 power forwards, which should be pretty fun because Blake Griffin will somewhere be there, and I hate Blake Griffin a lot, but he'll probably be there somewhere. So anyway, until next time, this is Netsboy, signing off.